Everyone is very, very excited to revisit some of these episodes. And, with any podcast, everyone also wants to know any quote unquote tea that happened on these shows. I'm just curious, maybe what has come up during the recording so far that maybe even surprised you?
Well, there's one thing we've talked about that isn't too much of a surprise, is that we did have Tate Donovan on already, who is full of stories and plenty of tea. Tea with Tate, we like to say.
Tea with Tate.
Yes.
I also like to, getting teased by Tate is actually a compliment.
Yes, and there were some things that Tate has said, that have been kind of out there, and we talk about it.
Right. Good. I'm glad you put the pressure on him.
Yes, absolutely. By the way, I love that like your shoulder keeps kind of like blocking Brody's face.
Oh, sorry.
And mouth.
I'm not looking at my own camera.
It's pretty awesome.
When this show started, it really blew up right away. I think, season 1 was massive. It was everywhere. Just what was it like for both of you at the time, kind of navigating that in public, that maybe, was the spotlight something you had to deal with? Was it something you were already used to? Just, what was that like?
Gosh, I mean, for me, I was 21, so I was pretty young. Definitely it was a surreal moment to be on something that had such success and people were really liking and watching. And I think the first time, I can't remember the exact time, like, if someone actually recognized me from the show, but I know that kind of became this weird, surreal thing. But it was nice that we were all going through it together at the same time and having the same experience. I feel like that was super helpful.
I think the kids obviously got so much attention, and rightfully so. I mean, Mischa was doing Neutrogena and a lot of campaigns, and Ben and Adam and you too, you guys had so much attention thrown at you. I had a 3-year-old at home. So it was so publicity, or, sometimes it's work, the studio, Warner Brothers, is asking you to show up, and and they require that, and it's expected. And sometimes it would take me away from my kid, and it felt a little stressful to do that. But I can't imagine, the amount of attention and the spotlight that was put on you guys at such a young age. It must have been a little bit, overwhelming.
Well, I mean, Mischa was 16 when we shot the pilot. So I can't imagine being that young and being thrown into the spotlight like that. But she handled it with such grace, and she was so beautiful. And I just can't imagine, if I would have been 16, I would have been a mess.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And for both of you, I mean, your characters kind of started out on the periphery, or as side characters, friend characters.
Supporting.
Really, that's the word I'm looking for, supporting. But over time, they became, almost the heart of the show. I think, Julie Cooper's one of my favorite TV characters of all time. So, just what was that journey like, knowing where you started and then where the character wound up going, and seeing just how it really was, they were embraced?
Well, what's interesting about the show, and talking with Josh Schwartz, it was very clear to me that going to work every day and showing up on time, knowing your dialogue, but also taking risks, adding a little bit of something in myself, making some choices every day. It inspires the writer to continue to write for you, or, ooh, look what she did with that line. Oh, I'm going to do more of that. And, my first dialogue or first line that kind of caught their attention was, honey, did you get my froyo? And it just, in that moment, it was like, ooh, we need more of that. And then right then, that was your first glimpse of the Real Housewives. You know what I mean? So so in that sense, it was really, that was really rewarding. And obviously by the 4th scene, Rachel and I had much deeper, richer storylines with the death of Marissa.
Right, the 4th season,
it wasn't all comedy, but so we were able to stretch ourselves as actors, and it was definitely a learning experience, education.
Did you want to add to that?
Oh, what? Huh? Me? Yeah. Oh, right. I should talk. No, I mean, I kind of, touched on, like, she went through so much, her character, and I really am proud of where she ended up.
Yeah.
And such a crazy arc. Yeah, I mean, like, there's not much to say other than, like, it was just really cool to see Summer evolve to that capacity and to end up with Seth.
And you both talked a little just about how Marissa's death did really impact your characters specifically so much. As you as actresses, just how did you think the show would fare after killing off Mischa's character, and were you surprised about the decision at the time? Because that is an episode I am very interested to hear you guys revisit.
Oh, I've been saying, like, I'm dreading it. I'm dreading watching it. I know I'm gonna have just a crazy emotional reaction. I don't remember specifically being told it was gonna happen or hearing it. I just, I don't think anyone knew where the show was gonna go. But her character had been through a lot. She had definitely experienced so many different things, and I don't know, like, still looking back, it's just pretty crazy to think that it actually happened and the show went on.
At the time, even she was like, I don't know what else they could possibly put me through. So
right.
I know there was a lot of controversy. There was a lot of conversations about it. And in my research, which I like to do, there's so many different interviews. And, I've heard that Mischa, I don't know if she wanted off the show or if she agreed with it. I'm not sure what happened there. I've heard that Josh might regret the fact that they killed her off. There was also a question of the show even coming back for a fourth season. So hopefully by the time we get to that episode in season 3, we will have done a little more digging, and maybe we'll be able to share a little bit more clarity on what was really going on behind the scenes of that decision. We had a new head head of Fox. There were different things going on that weren't just a storyline, probably.
And for you, what do you make of shows like Laguna Beach, even Real Housewives of Orange County, in a way, kind of cashing in on the whole OC success? Because it's crazy to think that you guys are kind of responsible for it.
Oh God.
Or Josh.
It was, well, it's funny because, like I said, I'm doing a lot of research and such. And I realized that in season 2, episode 9, when Julie Cooper's doing the Newport Living, she has a line of dialogue that says, and this is season 2, before any of that, right? And it said, she says, well, why wouldn't America be fascinated with the lives and loves of Orange County's rich and fabulous? We're all beautiful. We're all dysfunctional. Surf, sex, and scandal. It's a recipe for a cultural phenomenon. Well, Josh being a fortune teller, right?
Yeah, we'll just say it's all on Josh.
And it's also just wild to see how, like, full circle it came with Mischa doing The Hills, which was a spinoff of Laguna Beach, which was inspired by the OC. It's just like all cyclical.
Full circle. Yeah, absolutely.
And I know, last time I spoke with you, Rachel, I asked about a revival. I know you guys have both been answering this question like crazy, but what would you think about doing one now? I mean, I just recently rewatched the finale the other day, and it ends with Julie, Kiki, and Sandy all having babies. So, the new show could theoretically revolve around now teenage kids again, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that alone is insane. But yeah, there could be kids in high school, like the whole new crop of OC little children.
Right. My son is Ryan's half brother. And if I married, well, I don't know, Julie didn't get married, but he would have been the stepson. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could go.
Yeah, I mean, Summer and Seth could have had a baby right away, and that kid would be of age-ish, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Right.
Math is not my strong suit.
You can do whatever you want.
They're the same age, miraculously.
Well, no, because that last scene is in the future. It's about 3 or 4 years in the future.
There's a little jump.
Right.
And
Sure.
Julie gets her degree, so who knows what
That's
she's
right.
doing now too.
Oh, we know what she's doing.
It was paranormal studies. That's what the prop master wrote. I don't know if you can get a degree in that.
Nice.
Why not?
I think I have that prop somewhere in a box.
I would like to see Julie Ghost Hunter.
Oh, me too. I definitely want
I
that.
think she, with Bullet's money, I think she invested in something called Google and created something called Instagram. She's a billionaire, but she's philanthropic.
I like it. Dream big. I love
There's
it.
a lot to play with.
Absolutely.
And I guess, how would you say the show changed maybe the trajectory of your own careers, just from where you were before it started to what you were able to do afterwards?
Oh my goodness. I mean, for me, it's a personal journey as well, because Doug Lyman directed the pilot. And when the show was ending, I did a movie with Doug that introduced me to my daughter's daddy.
Yep.
So like in that sense, it changed my world tremendously, but it really was such an amazing platform. And an amazing way to start that gave me so many opportunities that I cannot say enough how grateful I am for the entire experience in the show. And it was my first kind of thing. So for me, it was just the most incredible experience and amazing thing that could have happened to me, especially at that young of an age, for sure.
Well, and you also, Heart of Dixie was Josh.
Oh, right. Hello.
That whole other show that
Thanks,
lasted
Mindy.
many years.
Thank you for being here. Yes, Heart of Dixie was also with Josh Schwartz and Stephanie Savage, and Lila Gerstein, the creator, was a writer on the OC. So it's all, it's very incestual, the whole thing.
And I also made the connection that, and also you were on CW, which is a Warner Brothers. So when I went on to do Nikita, which was Wonderland, McCheese Company, and Warner Brothers. And I also found out recently that, like Ben McKenzie's shows were Warner Brothers. And I don't think we always think about that. But when there's different people who might have say in casting you, but for the most part, I've worked a lot for Warner Brothers, and you have too, Rachel. So that's something to be said.
Right, Vampire Diaries too.
And Vampire Diaries, you're right, exactly. I was doing Vampire Diaries when I got the audition for Nikita, and even in that, Warner Brothers might have said, yeah, just saw her in Vampire Diaries. She's good on this one. Who knows how it all works? I have no idea. Just grateful when we do get work.
Yeah. As you have been watching all of this back, what has really stood out for you the most as far as fashion, beauty trends, hair of the 2000s? Because I think it's gonna all start coming back kind of soon. The way we're at
Let's
90s
hope
right
not
now.
all of it. Let's not hope all of it. Okay. Let's definitely leave some of that stuff permanently in the early aughts.
I definitely think that the first season, even, they absolutely wanted the long nails and the tan and heavy makeup. But if you go through the season, as you watch, it gets more subtle. We realize you don't need that much, especially on me and me, I feel like, Julie's a little bit too much, I think. But some of the hairstyles, like the cotillion hairstyle and some of these kind of updos that are appropriate for mother of the bride wedding.
My favorite was I have flat iron straight bangs and then crunchy curls like the rest of my hair, and I'm like, what is happening here?
There's an episode, Rachel, coming up in the bait shop where I think you did clip-on bangs.
Oh my God, Josh Schwartz was so mad that day. It was a last minute thing where they clipped on these bangs that were there. Honestly, it's pretty horrendous if you look back, and it looks totally opposite. And he was like, what were you thinking? Where did the bangs come from? He's like, no bangs.
There you go. There's your tea. She just remembered.
I'll take it. Yeah. Right. It's your Scream 3 Courtney Cox moment.
Definitely screams were had.
Thank you both so much for your time. I won't take any
you.
longer. Can't wait to listen, and
Thanks.
stay safe out there.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.